In this tutorial, I want to go over an issue I'm seeing on some, and most of them not having a problem at all. But I think it stems from there's two methods of creating a bevel, and one is better than the other. But if you're having some issues, which I'm going to demonstrate, I'll show you how you can fix them, and make sure you're using the best method to create bevels so that you don't run into the problem. And the problem arises is where you have very pointed corners, and the Hawk does have a lot of pointed corners to them. So I will show you a method that will create these problems, and that is with the line here. And if I select that outline of the character, if I go down here and do a editable poly, and then select the inside of the character and use the bevel here, that you can see already if I zoom in, there's some issues happening. And that is overlapping geometry. And if it's something you're experiencing, I can show you how to fix it. Unless, and then the other method is to redo it using the other method so that doesn't even occur. Okay, so here I'm going to deselect that. I'm going to color this so we can see what the issue is. What's not happening here, and what I've seen with some, is that you're getting a huge line coming up, or a spike of black or dark color, or it's not giving you the smooth or flat color throughout, and that's caused by this same problem. So what I'm going to do is I am going to color our character here so maybe we can see what the issue is. There we go. So again, unfortunately what's not happening is the spikes here, but it's the same thing that's causing these little triangles in the corners. And if I go to the wireframe, you can see what's causing it. And this is overlapping geometry. It's collapsing in on itself. And that's giving us color here. And quite often what will happen, it will give you big streaks of black or the wrong color coming up into here. But it's the same problem and the same solution. And how you fix it, if you want to fix it or redo it, and I'll show you the proper method, is to fix it, you'd have to unweave all of this geometry so it's not overlapping on itself. And that can be tedious. So then other method, and it's funny, it does the exact same thing, gives us our bevel and the inset and everything working, but it, for whatever reason, doesn't give us this overlapping geometry, which is an issue. Sorry, I'm getting this. So you can get this very complicated and a bit messy, especially if you got to go in and fix every corner. And was kind of how we were doing things until we discovered how we can eliminate this in a very easy alternative step that alleviates this problem. But there we go. So no more interweaving geometry. Let me go back to our flat color, and you can see it's gotten rid of that triangle in this corner. So if we go to the other corners where we're having the same issue, like in here, we've got some funny things happening. Not so dramatic. In a distance, you may not notice it at all, but in some cases it gets quite large and noticeable. And particularly if you're having issues of color coming out, outline color coming in, or a black coming in, it's the same solution of coming in and taking a look. I always recommend going to the wireframe so you can see it, and then going the vertices and selecting the geometry and doing that fix. Okay, so that's pretty much what's happening there. And see, it's all good here. but even in this corner, it's overlapping. So it's on weaving that vertice by vertice. I know, tedious, not fun. But again, we can avoid it completely by going to different steps. Oh, look what's happening down here too. This is kind of the idea that I was talking about. That color, the cyan color, is coming over and eliminating the outline. So that's the same thing. The same idea is if you're getting a dark or black streak coming in here, it's because of that overlapping geometry. So on this one, let me do this one so you can see how I can alleviate this by just undoing that geometry in here. I am going to, well, yeah, no, it's always better to do it with the wireframe. You can see there's a lot of overlapping geometry there, and it's confusing it. That's why it's taking a point here and going across and connecting here, which is why it's obliterating the bevel outline. But you'll see as again, I'm just making room, so I'm shifting these ones over to make room for the vertices that I have to untangle, and there's quite a few here. And again, it happens on with very pointy parts. So until we discovered that other method, I always made sure my characters were round and cartoony. So to avoid this unweaving. But again, using the other method, it doesn't have the overlapping geometry. You don't get this happening. Why? I'm not sure. But the great thing is that we discovered it and found an alternative. So here we go. So I've undone that weave here and got all those vertices back in line. And we'll go back to flat color. Look, there's the line. It eliminated that cross of the blue color covering that over. So that's a fix. So if you've done this and you want to fix it, that's how you do it. Or if you want to redo it, let me show you the best method. Getting the words mixed up. Best method to make sure that doesn't happen, especially for your character. And when you're building them, they've got pointy bits. And if you want to go back and fix or redo things on Hawk, get him perfect. So here I want to show you the best method. We saw the issues of doing the process that I shown before, and here it just works out that we don't get that overlapping. And let's take a look to see if that's true. So I have the outline. So rather than going to the editable poly and then going down here for the bevel, I'm going to go straight to the modifier and go to bevel here. And the bevel only shows up when it's just an outline. If you go to the editable poly or whatever, you don't even have the option of the bevel here. So outline, go straight to bevel. Once you fixed it and everything's good, go to bevel, and it gives you dimensions down here. So level 1. So let's take a look. So here's that extrusion, which we can see over here, and over here we can get that inset going on. So I've got it quite exaggerated. You can see these other ones much more subtle, but I just wanted to show that that's what's happening. Let's take a look at the wireframe. So that's what's going on here. But look, it brings all the vertices into a point. It doesn't allow any overlap in the geometry. So, and again, that becomes a real issue. The thicker the outline and the pointier the line is, the overall shape is, creates that problem. So you can see here that that takes care of that without any issues. So I think that was kind of an issue I created, because when we started the stretch character, when the first video I did on the nose, I used this method. And then the other video showing building in the body, I used the one I just showed you, and the problems that occur. So this is the best. So again, hopefully you can correct any issues that are visible for your hot character can be taken care of. So now when we go to color this, what you don't want to do is pick up the edit poly here, because I've gone through this, and when we pick the colors with our color palette here, go to do the overall dark blue color, and then go in and select this one, and with this selected, go in here. It turns the whole thing cyan, so that doesn't work. So we do pick up the old method from here so that we can color it. So this edit poly, let me get out of this. I'm gonna delete that one. So it's funny how some things work, others don't. So I'm going to delete that. Now what I'm going to do is go down here and do the editable poly. And now when I go to select this and bring my color material here and color all that, as we can see is all the dark color. Now I select the inside and bring that in here. Bingo, works perfect, and the color and everything is working really nice on all these pointed colors with no issues, no overlap, nothing going on. The colors seem to be pretty flat too. It seems to alleviate some of that highlight and dark color by going through the process, this process, as opposed to what was shown in the other. So yeah, hopefully if you can review this and keep it straight. I know it's making me confused from one method to another on how that we have an editable poly and an edit poly, that it's the editable poly we want. When we do the outline, we go to the bevel in the modifier, but then we click and go to the editable poly down on this one. Again, there's more than one way to do everything. They sound like the same things, but they react differently. So this process is the best for doing any new pieces. This will alleviate any of the issues we were talking about, and hopefully for your character in construction, it'll simplify life and get you the best result.